Mark Jackson, my first guest today from Blue Dolphin Design and Engineering. And this is kind of fascinating. We're going to talk about a lot of products that are developed right here in the Valley. And Mark, you help these people, move these products forward?
Yeah, basically, since 1999, what we've been doing is providing engineering, research, and development resources to companies, some very large, some of the biggest companies in the world. But also, we provide those resources for entrepreneurs and inventors. And what that entails is doing the design work, the engineering if it's required. We'll help them prototype their ideas. We have 3D printers in-house. We have CNC machinery and whatnot.
What's a CNC?
It's a computer numerical controlled machine that helps machine material away out of metal. And so we can...
I knew that.
Yeah. So we have various methods of doing the prototyping in-house, and we have partners, vendor partners that we deal with here also for creating the prototypes. We also help them with getting their patents. We're not patent attorneys, but we work with their patent attorneys. We help them figure out how to produce it, figure out the production costs, maybe find somebody who can manufacture it for them. And we also help get early round funding for them, which is a big issue because a lot of these entrepreneurs and inventors, they don't have the money to develop their idea. And they need angel investment or that kind of investment to try to get their ideas off the ground.
Almost sounds like Shark Tank.
It's like Shark Tank, except we're not so sharky.
You're not billionaires?
No, no,
not yet.
Not yet. But we're trying to make our customers billionaires. I mean, we work with our customers to help them develop and launch their ideas or launch their businesses. If we're successful, then we're creating jobs because we're creating products that require more people to be hired, or we're helping businesses start up. Most of the jobs that are created in the United States are by and large created by companies that are less than 5 years old. Not these big, not like HP and those big, they're not the ones who actually create jobs. It's all done in the very small. And so these entrepreneurs and inventors are very important to that job growth. And it's been really interesting. We've done some very, very cool things. I brought a video that kind of describes what we do for the entrepreneurs and inventors. I don't know if you want to...
Let's look at it right now.
Okay.
So, you're driving your car to work one day when it hits you, your $1 million idea. Where do I go? You think to yourself. What do I do next? You decide to visit a big box retailer. You enter the building and exclaim, I have $1 million idea. And they say, that's a great invention, but we only want to buy products that are already boxed for sale. You're the persistent sort, so you decide to visit a manufacturer next. And they say, we really like your invention, but we only want to buy products that are already ready for manufacture. You think to yourself, I only want to sell my idea. I'm not a manufacturer. You aren't giving up on your idea yet. That's when you realize, I really need some help. Maybe I need a rapid prototype. So you give Blue Dolphin Design and Engineering a call. You talk to one of our friendly engineers who tells you you came to the right place. We'll help you get a patent, create a virtual prototype, build a rapid prototype using our 3D printer, perform testing, create blueprints, and develop preliminary pricing for your product. Wow, maybe even I can manufacture this myself. Now you're talking. Turning your ideas into reality. That's what we do at Blue Dolphin Design and Engineering.
I guess I never really thought about it before, but if I came up with an idea, I would have no idea where to go, how to get things started. That's where you come in.
Fairly common. People don't know what to do, and often the people who come to us have nothing more than an idea, nothing even on paper sometimes. They have to describe it to us verbally or whatever, and we have to take that and run with it. Engineering, I don't think people think of it as a creative process like a lot of art form, but in a way it really is. We have to take something that's a concept and create it out of nothing. And we just have to follow the laws of physics all the time when we do it, and that's kind of what sets us apart, I suppose.
Can you tell when somebody walks in with a potentially $1,000,000 idea?
You know what? I wish I could. Sometimes I really wish I could, but we don't. One thing we don't understand usually is the market that these people are trying to address, and we sort of rely on them to understand and know their own market. A good example of this, I brought some pictures of some of the products we brought. Bumpets, okay.
We all know Bumpets.
The Bumpets, she is local, Kelly Fitzpatrick. She was in real estate and I think she had a hair salon, and she came to me with this idea for the Bumpet product. And it's a very, very simple concept. She was very successful with it. At one time, she was selling 1 million Bumpets per month.
Wow.
She did very well.
It started here in Fresno and went nationwide.
Nationwide.
Worldwide, probably.
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah. Now they're still around, but I mean, she did very well with that.
Yeah. Well, so give me an example of what you did for her. What did you do?
She came to me and she had this idea and she didn't know how to make it, and she was describing it to me of what it needed to do. And
wait, you didn't have the 3D printers back then, right?
3D printers have been around for quite a while, so yes, we did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But we didn't have them in-house at that time.
Okay.
So
you couldn't just whip one up on the machine?
No, but now we can. It's kind of cool. So she came to us with this concept, and we went back and forth with a virtual prototype on the computer. You know, we would show her images and say, is this what you're thinking? And yes, and eventually it led to making some very crude prototypes, and then she got into production. She actually started producing it right here in Fresno initially, before it became, she actually went on to Home Shopping Network or QVC, one of the two, and she ended up selling out a couple times and that's what kind of launched the whole product. But it took a decent amount of investment and time, to get to that point. So she did very well, and a very straightforward thing. It's kind of cool because, like I said, it was done right here. I brought another image. This is called the Towel Hub. Towel Hub was an idea of Dan Whitlatch. Dan Whitlatch is a local inventor. That's not what he does for a living, although he may become that.
What does that thing do?
What the Towel Hub is it sits on your kitchen counter. It obviously holds paper towels, but it also has USB charging ports built into the base.
Ah, okay.
And so the whole thing came about in that him and his wife are always, haggling over the plugs to charge their phones every morning and whatnot. Well, this has 4 USB charging ports on the bottom.
See them there now. Yeah.
It also has a Bluetooth capability, so you can play music through it from your phone.
That's a darn good idea.
And it's on the cover of Sharper Image. It's a great idea. It did very well.
Wow.
Once again, another local inventor. Another example here. This is called the TAC-V JAMA, and what JAMA stands for is Joint All-Terrain Modular Mobility Asset. Now, what that basically is, it's a diesel-electric hybrid military vehicle that was designed to be a payload in the V-22 Osprey, which is a vertical takeoff plane.
Right.
So we worked with Light Racing, who was the contractor of the Air Force, to help them develop this prototype. We did some of the design of the vehicle. We actually built some of the prototype parts for it. And once again, this was developed right here in the Valley. Not what you'd expect, but this is where it came from, an incredible vehicle. Really a lot of fun to work on the design, too.
And they sold that to the military? Or?
They sold it to the military, I believe, and then another company was going to try to, I believe, commercialize it sort of like the Hummer was, so that you could go out and buy one of these.
Right.
And it's a company in the South, and I don't know if they were ever successful, but interesting development. And most of the time, when we've been involved with a project, once it gets into production, we sort of get out of the picture. We're not producers, we can help them get hooked up with somebody who can produce. Like with Dan Whitlatch, he ended up finding a manufacturer in China. He wanted to do it here in the United States, but the expenses were too high to make it a viable product. So he ended up having manufactured in China. We ended up doing the entire device was prototyped here. We 3D printed the base. We machined all the components. We prototyped the circuit boards. We did the whole thing here first. And he used it for a while. We went back and forth a few times, and then he got it started in production overseas. Once again, that process is one of the things that helps us, an inventor become successful, is to test it out, to prototype it, to play with it, and get good reaction from the consumers, see what kind of features and benefits they need to add or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's always a good process to go through all of that.
So where do you make your money? Do you charge by the hour, or do you take a percentage cut of whatever this goes on to make?
Well, primarily what we do, we either charge by the hour or we charge by the project. So if you came to us and said, look, I need this instant translator so I can speak Italian in the Vatican, we could say, okay.
Google Translate already has it.
Well, I know.
They beat you to it.
I know. But in case the Mike Scott
I know
version,
what you're
yeah.
saying. Okay.
We would quote on doing the design and development for you. Or sometimes the projects we work on are so undefined that we work time and materials because we have no idea how long it's going to take to do a development.
I bet there are some products you wish you'd gotten the cut of the.
Yeah,
right?
and I could say the Bump It's probably one of them. But and because you were asking about the market, and I had no idea. I had no idea. I'm sure a lot of people had no idea it'd be as big as it was. We have been involved a few times, and we are asked often to take an equity part of a company, and I'm willing to do that based on how well they're prepared and how well they understand their market and how much we believe in the product.
See, it is like Shark Tank.
It is like Shark Tank. I just don't have the billions those guys got to invest. But the next picture, actually, this device, which is called the Rex, this is a device that's meant for aiding in mass casualty incidences where you need to move patients quickly. This allows one rescuer to move several people with very little effort.
Normally, you need 3 or 4 guys to carry someone out.
Yeah, normally
on a
if
stretcher.
you've ever done it before, you can maybe move somebody 100 yards, and then that's it. And that you can't move a second person even. This allows you to move several people. It's very lightweight. I'm an inventor myself. That particular device is something I designed, and I owned the patent on. I ended up selling, myself and my partner ended up selling the patent to a company that's now developing that and producing it. So I've been through that process of development and trying to sell my idea and make money on it. Once again, developed right here in the Valley, and probably not what people expect, but
There's a lot of talent and a lot of great ideas here.
a lot of talent, a lot of that,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, Mark, I wish we had more time to talk, but so if folks have an idea and don't know where to go with it, Blue Dolphin is where they should go. How can they reach you?
Blue Dolphin Engineering, our phone number here locally is 559-222-4111, and our website is bluedolphinengineering.com. It's all spelled out, all one word. You can contact us that way, a call or whatever. We'd be glad to set up a free consultation, to talk to you about your idea.
Okay, you on Facebook too? Or?
Yes, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn.
Just Google Blue Dolphin Engineering.
Google Blue Dolphin, you'll
It'll come
find
up.
some stuff. Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Yeah, all right. You'll have to come back when
Yeah.
when the next big product
We will. It'll
hits your
probably be
door.
very soon, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And we'll be back with more on Central Valley Talk.